Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Ordinary Daily version of the Ordinary Marathoner podcast. My name is Scott. I'll be your host today. It is Friday, July 12th. We are approaching the last weekend before tapering for IRONMAN Lake Placid, the redemption race. We are 16 days away from IRONMAN Lake Placid. And I got to tell you, the nerves are really kicking in. Really kicking in. I went back on my old training peaks from last year, which is sort of what I kept my workouts on last year. And I was looking at some of the running I was doing and some of the bikes I was doing. And I'm like, man, this wasn't as bad as I thought. Like I wasn't as slow or wasn't as lagging behind. My weight was out of control. I was 240 pounds. I'm now like 221. So yeah, I've improved that. But, I think I saw a 5-mile run at like a 9:05 pace, which is pretty darn good for me. I think the other night I did a 4 1/4 at, 8:47. So it's a little, with the distance there difference, I don't know, it's a little faster, I guess, this year. It does help. Obviously, I lost that weight and I feel good about that. I don't know. I'm trying to see where I am versus last year, and it's not, I don't know. I'm feeling like maybe I'm not as improved. It's like this is what happens, right? You always start second guessing and, am I in good enough shape? Do I feel good? How am I versus last year versus 2 years ago when I was able to finish? And I kind of feel like 2 years ago I was in a lot better shape than I'm in now, but that now I'm in better shape than I was in last year. And I don't know. Well, we're going to see how it goes in 16 days, right? That's the whole thing. The one thing I'll say, and I think this whole concept, I guess, I feel like I've been making a lot of excuses lately. And sometimes excuses, I like to talk about my experiences on the podcast, and I like to talk about them in detail, like how I go through my day and how I try to fit things in. And some days things just implode and I never get it done. And some days I do more than expected. And some days I have a plan. Some days I don't have a plan. Lately, I've been kind of all over the place. And I feel like, one thing happened this morning that really, it made me kind of rethink a lot of things, which was I got up at 7, which is pretty late nowadays. I should be waking up earlier, but I got up at 7. The girls have to go. Ellie's got to go to daycare. Sam's got to go to camp. I got to take them. I got to get them ready. Obviously Stephanie's helping. And, I woke up at 7. I got everything. I went to Dunkin' Donuts to get coffee like I always do. This is actually round 2 right here. That's round 2. I got to Dunkin', and I'm leaving Dunkin', and mind you, it's raining outside. And when I left in the morning, it was overcast but drizzling, not too bad. And then now it was outright raining, and I'm driving home, and I pass a couple running on the sidewalk, and they're running, and he's pushing a tandem stroller. I'm guessing twins, 2 kids in there. It's raining. He's running with his wife, and I'm thinking, my God, I make excuses. I use like my 6-month-old or 7-month-old as an excuse not to do a workout. My 10-year-old, I use her as an excuse not to go down and do a workout when she's plenty old enough to do it. So, I can't leave her in my house, but I'm in the lap of luxury here. I got a treadmill and a bike trainer down in my basement. What else do I need? And I have a squat rack and an elliptical. What else do I need? And I make excuses for like putting workouts off. And really that's all mental. That's all mental. And I think another thing that brought that to light for me was the podcast I did with Sheila Treleaven, which by the way is getting excellent reviews. People have been contacting me about that one. A pro triathlete dealing with 3 kids, a full-time job, being able to find the time to do it. Great personality. She started triathlon at the age of 40 and she turned pro, and, and she's down to earth, and she faces a lot of the same challenges that, everybody else faces. It's not like, she's a pro triathlete and she's dealing with only things no, she deals with, what we deal with all the time. And yet she finds the time and she does it. And here I am, and I almost feel like in the background I should have like an excuses barometer. Like today's podcast has an excuse level of